Welcome, man. Introduce yourself. Who are you?
Daniel. My name's Daniel. I'm 15. I've done top bloke.
When did you do top blokes?
I did it term 1 and term 2 of this year.
Term 1 and term 2.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. How did that all come about?
Oh, it was really good. I liked how they went in depth about the topic.
Yeah.
And they weren't just one-sided about it.
Yeah.
Like they told us, like, if we want to do those kind of stuff, like, just do it safely.
Yeah.
And like make sure we don't like risk harm to anyone. I like the like drug sort of topics and that because it got into detail about like what they use in it.
Yeah.
Just being vague about the topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They educated you on certain things rather than just being like, hey, don't do this, hey, don't do that.
Yeah, they told us like just do it in a safe manner sort of thing.
Do you feel like if they were to like tell you, hey, don't do this, you would have acted differently, or you wouldn't have like appreciated it as much?
I wouldn't have listened as much.
Yeah.
I reckon it's really good though how they talk about their topics. They're like they joke about it, like not joke about it, but like they just try and make it enjoyable for the people that are listening. Yeah.
They're relatable, right? Like, which is.
Yeah, they can relate because like they sort of act like kids themselves. Yeah.
So beforehand, like, how did it all come about? How did you get a part of the program?
I don't really know. All I know is I got picked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was your initial kind of like thoughts of when you got picked? Was it like, oh, cool, is it an excuse to get out of class?
Oh, it was just an excuse to get out of class really at first. But then I started to really enjoy it and then realised that like this will help me. Thought that I should actually pay attention to it instead of just like joke about it.
When was that kind of turning point when you were doing the program? When was it like, oh, okay, this is actually seriously going to help me?
It was probably, I reckon, the 5th week of doing it.
Was it because of a certain program or like certain kind of topic they were talking about that kind of interests you a little bit more?
Yeah, I reckon it was. Like, they were talking about risk taking and that.
Yeah. And
I realised that, like, I've had a past where there's a lot of risk taking and that in it.
Yeah.
And I realised that I need to make better decisions.
For you personally?
No, yeah, for me personally and for like my mental health and that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a very good upbringing and that, so I live with my grandma now.
Your grandma?
Yeah, because of it.
So do I.
Yeah, wow.
I live with my grandmother.
Wow.
Always kind of lived with my grandmother.
I have it as well, since I was 4.
How good's grandma?
Good.
Good, right?
Yeah.
Safe home. Nah, it's beautiful, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Doing this, like how has it kind of affected you mentally? Like, has it given you a lot more confidence within yourself as a young man?
Yeah, it's given me a lot more confidence to talk about if I'm not doing so good or not. Like, for my mental health and that. It's made me realise that I can talk about my emotions and not have to keep it to myself.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Why do you feel like that's so important to talk about?
Because a lot of men have died, like passed away or committed suicide from it.
Yeah.
Because they don't talk about it and they just bottle it up.
They feel like they're alone type thing?
Yeah. They feel like that they've got no one. That's why there's a higher chance of men committing suicide to women, because women are usually more open about their emotions.
Yeah.
And that.
Yeah. And going through the program, you're learning about, you know, masculinity and you know, what it is to be a man, especially in today's society. What kind of surprised you with it all? Like, what was your perspective beforehand of like what being a man was all about, and then what kind of changed?
Well, before I just thought it was about just like keeping your emotions to yourself, not talking about it, not being as open towards people. But now, after the program and going through it, I've realised that I can talk to people about how I'm feeling. I can talk to people about if I'm not doing okay.
Yeah.
Or that. Like, I don't have to keep it to myself.
Has that opened up to have better relationships with people in your life? Like,
yes, it has.
Has it mended anything? Is it just like kind of like you gotten closer with certain people?
Yeah, it has. It's really helped me to be able to like hold a relationship and that with people. Yeah. And family.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Or you kind of closely together.
Instead of me being so distant and not talking.
Yeah.
Because I used to shy away from stuff like that and not talk about it, or I just zone out. It's just now that I've realised how much Top Blokes has helped me, I've realised to make better decisions, to not be as stupid in school, to actually just try to get myself steady and into a better life.
What do you kind of aspire to be when you grow up? Like,
I just aspire to being a good role model for if I have kids. Being a kind person, being an open person, offering to help people, stuff like that. I don't want to be that person that just shuts people out and not help them. I've already got my apprenticeships and that set up for me.
What's the apprenticeship in?
I could have 3 potential apprenticeships.
Yeah.
For carpentry, boilermaker, or electrician.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Any of them you kind of leaning towards, or?
Carpentry and electrician.
Yeah.
Because I know I would excel in electrician work, but I'm more of a hands-on person with for carpentry and that.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're gonna finish the rest of school, or you wanna?
Nah.
You wanna get into working already?
I want to get into work and that as soon as possible, because I'm not a big fan of school. I'm more of a hands-on kind of person. I prefer being more active instead of sitting down, reading books and that. I also wouldn't mind as like a side job, like being a Top Blokes mentor.
Yeah?
Yeah, because then I can like try and help people to not make stupid decisions.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rewarding, hey?
Yeah, it would just make me feel better as a person if I'm helping others.
Yeah, it's a great feeling helping other people, you know, especially getting through something. And, you know, is there any mentors that kind of stick out in your mind that kind of really helped you through the process?
Angus and Jason.
Yeah.
They were a really big help. They were my 2 mentors.
Yeah.
They were a really big help.
Any key things that you really took away from those guys?
Probably the drugs, healthy relationships, and the pornography side of it.
Yeah.
Because it's so accessible to kids our age, and people don't realise it. Or people get into that stuff at like a really young age.
Yeah, which can of course affect relationship, right? The relationships that you have with, you know, the opposite sex and all that, right? Like, it's talk about, like, have you been inspired, or like before you did the program, like, are you someone that kind of like scroll TikTok and Instagram and like saw the effects from social media?
Yeah, I have. That's why I don't go on my phone and scroll through social media often.
What kind of things do you notice that like social media has the effect on, like, especially guys your age?
People trying new things and not realizing the effects it can have on them.
Yeah.
People trying to act like them, even though they might not have the money or be in a good headspace to do it.
Yeah.
And just people don't realize that they do it for like only the money and that. They don't really care about like others.
It's not really reality, right? It's not real life in a sense.
That's why Top Blokes is such a good program for kids our age to learn, because it's helping to inspire kids not to like follow in the footsteps of those kinds of people.
Yeah.
And realize that they're not just one-sided, they stick to both sides, that there's goods, like there's pros and cons about it.
Yeah. Yeah, talk to me about having a positive role model.
It's good to have a positive role model because kids our age, we're at that age where we're maturing, but we're also at that age where there's a lot of crime rate and violence that kids do at our age. So it's good to have a mentor that is at our level and that tries to steer us away, but slowly. They don't try to push it on us straight away. They just try to tell us in a calm way to make better decisions, just not follow a stupid path and risk the rest of your life because you made that one stupid decision. Like, that's why it's good to have a positive role model like Jason or Angus, because they help you sort of steer in the way that will help you later in life.
And not being so directive too, right? As you said before, like if they were to tell you something, being like, this is what you have to do and this is how you're meant to act, you wouldn't have probably listened as much, right? Because you have to be the one that makes that decision and your mind up.
I probably wouldn't have listened, to be honest. 'Cause I feel like that it would help a lot of kids my age, to like not make dumb decisions and think about doing things smarter.
Do you think like, especially with that, like, you know, talking about the topics of peer pressure, do you feel like some of those actions are kind of met, like, you know, those criminal actions or those actions that you take are potentially because you're like trying to prove yourself to a group of people?
You're trying to prove yourself, you're trying to make sure that like you're worthy to them, sort of thing. Kids at our age just want to look up to people that they can aspire to and that, but they don't realise that they could be really bad people and get them in trouble.
Because that's a big thing, especially as young guys come up and grow, right? Like you guys are striving to have someone to be like a beacon of light to grow into a certain type, like, you know, a good adult, right? And when you do have that access to social media, or like you're surrounded by certain people that don't really have your best interests.
Good people.
They're not good people, but you're gonna get that. You're gonna think that's right because it's like you want inspiration to do better, right? And you can't, because you're still figuring yourself out. Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
And like we all are. We all go through stages, especially even as you get a little bit older. There's stages of life that you kind of keep figuring yourself out, but being able to have those skills to figure out, okay, is this best for me, or is this because am I getting influenced by someone else?
Yeah, that's why it's bad. Like, we need to realise that people our age hang around like the wrong people, and they just want to prove themselves to them. They want to make sure that they're like, they can fit in, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So they're not excluded.
Yeah.
So they just try and do as best they can to be like them, sort of thing. And they don't realise that it could affect them.
Tell me, brother, why would you recommend Top Blokes to the younger generations or kids your age, or just in general?
I'd recommend it because it's like a good program for us to learn and realise that we can do certain things, but we just got to be smart about it and make sure that we don't harm others. But also, it's a good program for us to realise and learn that we can talk about like men's mental health. We can talk about if we're not doing so well and that. So yeah, I'd recommend this program for kids probably 12, 13 and up. Yeah.
Brother, been a pleasure. Thank you so very much.